those are I'm like learning the theatrical aspects of it now. So those are the kind of things that you need to kind of keep the audience going. And that's one, I think, to me, one of the first like major subject changes. You know what I'm saying? Where I got the audience and I'm like, all right, you hear that? All right, let me tell you about this now. And I really sort of, I bring like another character, Kenny, into it. Right. Because, you know, a lot of people, when they change their name, it's weird because they like throw, or they divorce the rest of them. You know what I'm saying? Right. You know, don't call me by my government and all those kind of things. But yo, I'm still Kenny. You know what I'm saying? Right. I'm still Kenny. My entire family calls me Kenny. You know, my wife calls me Kenny. Right. I'm still Kenny. You know what I'm saying? And at first, no, I didn't embrace it like that. But you know, that's still a part of my personality, you know what I'm saying? And you
do you think the play helped you grow that sense of acceptance more, that growth? Oh yeah. I mean, you know what's crazy? Again, hindsight being 20/20. Right. Everything that I have produced in the last 5-6 years has been purging. You know what I'm saying? And it's been, you know, it's even down to sins of my father. It's like Kenny the Cruz on steroids. You know what I'm saying? You know, in real life, maybe I went left. The character goes right, but it's you know, the skeleton of it. You know what I'm saying?
How do you deal with the expectations though? Because you know, as Iyaba, you're a figure. You're a representation of, you know, the black struggle and the strong black man that never goes wrong and you know, convicts America of their crimes and whatnot. As Kenny, you're a man who's made mistakes, who's gone through humiliating experiences and has had some weak moments, and at the same time has had some really strong ones. How do you deal with the, you know, the expectations from the community at large? Because I'm sure that people, I tend to get that as I know. I almost feel as though when I dig into the real me and I present the real me, I'm you know, kind of destroying someone's image of me.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, I'm gonna tell you something. It's, you know, when we met, I don't know how many people know that we adopted each other instantly. You know, you are my little brother, I'm your big brother, and that's the end of the story. Period. It's done. You know what I'm saying?
I remember those days.
You know, that's just, it's one of them kind of spirit things. Like the spirit in you and the spirit in me just kind of made us meet and made us realize that we are brothers. And so I ran with that from the jump, and I definitely sit and watch you go through a lot of those things, and then I see you, you know, like figure out the way to deal with it. And you know what? You know, it's a crazy thing because you can't please all the people all the time. And I know that's a cliche, but it's also very true. You know what I'm saying? So it's something that as artists you have to really admit. You know, one of the things that, you know, again, and going back into the last 5-6 years, is the first thing is, you know, as an artist, we need energy, feedback. Gratification doesn't really sound like a good word, but you know, that thing from the people, you know what I'm saying? That reverb, you know what I'm saying? That return thing. We need that. And just because of that, the people we are, and I think an artist that doesn't admit that to themselves can become really pompous. Right. You know what I'm saying? They really get beside themselves. And when we get to this place, and I see you, I watch you do it. You know, when you get to that place where your art is just, that's what it's about for you. Right. Then you spiritually and physically and mentally, you take like this giant step backwards. Not digression wise, just
so you can see
perspective wise. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So you could just, and that's what I think, that's what happens. And when that happens, then you realize that, you know, like, you know, I'm still I'm 41 years old in September, and you know, my biggest thing is still to hear my mother say, Kenny, I'm proud of you. That's, you know, I haven't heard anything that tops that yet. So, you know, that being true for me, and then I have 5 children, man. Well, my children, you know, I get my gratification from them. But that, you know, that happened. That's not how it always was. You know what I'm saying? That's part of why we slam and, you know, all of those things, because we, you know, we have an ego. We're artists. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is not to murder your ego, but to make it as healthy as you can. Right. So that's been my quest. You know what I'm saying? I keep it in perspective. And man, I've had those experiences. I remember being in Seattle, reading 41 times, being really drained from giving it my all, and going upstairs in this spot and trying to hide, you know, just to come down, because I was floating from the poem, and I feel these two hands on my back, like really loving rubs, you know what I'm saying, like massaging my back, and it's just like this loving thing, you know what I'm saying. I could feel the love and the rub. I turn around, it's the archetype of who I'm supposed to hate, or who's supposed to hate me, like this 50-something, late 50-something year old white cat who's crying, and came up there to thank me for the poem. Wow. You know what I'm saying? So that's powerful. You know, those kind of things, just, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, you would think that me and him, you put me and him in a picture, and everybody's gonna say, "Oh, they definitely enemies," or he thinks that he's gonna rob his wife or do something to his daughter. And I was blown away, like, man. All I could do was turn around and tell him thank you, because that threw me off. You know what I'm saying? Because I had my own stereotypes. I'm sure he has the same, just like he had about me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I turn around and see him. I'm like, the feeling and the face didn't match up.
To give up himself to be there.
And he, his honesty made me. It brought mine. So that to me is like, those kind of things to me, man. They keep you. And man, we came here for something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to sound all metaphysical, but they're a batch of us, man. Many are called, few are chosen. All those things. They are a batch of us. They came here for something.
Right.
And it's not a loud thing when we get the message from the ancestors. It comes in all kind of crazy places, but I know I'm one of those people. You know what I'm saying? And I know when I meet another person, you're one of those people. And it's beyond a lot of that stuff. So when you get that message, you can step away from sort of the light, so to speak. You know what I'm saying?
True.
And just work.
I mean, I think a lot of times too, people come into the comfort of their own work and their own this identity, and not really come to the comfort of themselves.
Yeah.
And when it comes to that point where they hit the comfort of their own selves, it's like nobody else wants to be comfortable with it.
Yeah.
So it kind of destroys everybody's idea of who you are as a person, as opposed to who you are as an artist. And it's such a conflict of interest, because you cannot be both, the artist and the person without having some kind of conflict of interest in somebody else's
shadow,
lives.
schizophrenia. You know what I'm saying? And we can't do that because we're receptacles. You know what I'm saying? We uptake information because that's what we do. You know what I'm saying? So you can't get the filters messed up, and that is just.
But it's hard for people to digest and understand. Like, listen, I'm imperfect.
Yeah.
I have other facets.
Exactly.
And it's funny because I actually was listening to you. You kept saying this character Kenny, and I'm like, Kenny's not a character. Like, Kenny's another facet of you.
Yes, exactly.
It's so awkward. And I'm just listening to your word choice, and I was just thinking about that. But that's a whole other story.
No, that's exactly what you're talking about. I mean, even for me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Kenny is not Kenny. This is like, me talking like this is a 24-month thing, a 36-month thing. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm still working on being comfortable with it, and you know what I'm saying?
It's growth.
Yes,
it's
you
growth.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and that's the challenge for all of us. And I think when those things happen, the other stuff kind of, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because it becomes so. Man, please, they gotta wait in line, man. A person coming with criticism, I'm like, yo, you see all it's like you see them 15 Iyabas and them 30 Kennys. You gotta wait behind them because they all got more to say to me than you could ever dream. Because you're never gonna be as critical of me, when it comes to my work. Never. I mean, I got paintings that nobody's gonna see. I got poems that nobody's gonna see because, or one of my friends are going to do it, or the manager will go in and look at it, and she's like, well, what's up with this? Why we haven't heard this one? Or why?
Right.
And it's something that I don't remember I wrote, but, I'm that critical. So that's another thing that really helps you to put in perspective. Man, I mean, we're craftsmen and craftswomen, so that's our job, man.
That's real.
Yeah.